I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is LA Currents. Well, congratulations are in order for my guest today. I am delighted to be joined by the new Executive Director of StreetsLA, Keith Mozee. So fun to have you here. Okay, so 30 years with the City of Los Angeles. You've had quite the career. You actually started as a light truck operator. What were you, like 5?
No, thank you. Actually, it'll be 32 years come August 1st.
Wow.
And it's all with StreetsLA. We used to be called Street Maintenance back in the day, and we changed and evolved to Bureau of Street Services, and now StreetsLA as we rebranded to basically improve our image as we move forward into the future. I've seen a lot over the years. I've seen the changes. I've seen, our organization improve. I've seen our organization get better, smarter over the years.
What are some of the things that you feel very optimistic and positive about?
Well, I feel positive about everything. I've overseen our construction services division, our engineering division, our emergency operations division. I'm currently the racial equity officer, chief equity officer. And with that, the things that I've seen that have changed that we've really improved on in great stride is our sustainability and recycling over time. And so we're just getting better and better at that. And we're looking at, as I work to basically improve the durability of different materials to put back onto the street system that will last longer, I've basically been able to help oversee our recycling capabilities improve tremendously over the years to make a better, better products for the citizens of Los Angeles. And so those are things that I carry forward. And that actually leads into, what we're, I've been basically working with the, different people as far as on plastics, basically taking water bottles and other, plastic waste products and making that into a binder product to put back on city streets.
Okay, so we have to talk about that because I was going to get to it in a little bit, but now that you've brought it up, let's jump in. Plastic streets, oh my gosh, it sounds like a brilliant idea, but I don't have a clue as to what it all means. But it's almost a plastic asphalt scenario happening. There were tests being done. How did that all play out?
So we did our first test on First and Grand. It's not the plastic street per se the way you think about it. Basically plastic is melted down into what's called a binder product. And so that binder is mixed with other rock, and aggregates, rocks and sand, and basically put back into the street system. Very similar to the asphalt that's currently out there today. It's just using a different binder product. Instead of an oil, we're using a more plastic-based, product. And what we're finding is that material is 6 to 7 times stronger than traditional asphalt materials as it solidifies onto the street. So our hopes are basically that will basically make streets last longer, reduce maintenance costs in the future, reduce maintenance repair for cars and vehicles and things of that nature to hold up to heavy vehicle bus traffic out there on city streets.
I read that LA is the first to try this. So are we are all eyes looking at Los Angeles when it comes to the potential of this particular industry?
Yes, so we've got a lot of calls from across the nation and also internationally in some cases to basically look at what we do, because the area that we picked basically has about 680 something buses that cross that particular intersection on a daily basis. And so if it can hold up to that, it can hold up to anything. And so yeah, if we are pretty successful in this, we'll be able to mass produce this product.
Can you tell the difference between that particular space and then the asphalt on the street? Does it look different?
Actually, no.
It doesn't look different.
You would never notice it.
My last comment about the plastic enhancement to the asphalt. How much plastic would be used, and what does that mean from an environmental standpoint of being able to recycle? Because one of the issues with recycling is what's the byproduct of the recycling? How much is recycling even helping if it's not needed in some other place? How much recycling how many bottles does it take to do a little piece of?
Well, the potential is like thousands and thousands and thousands of water bottles and other waste plastics that can basically come directly from, say, our blue can waste stream. So that's something we'll work with Bureau of Sanitation on, potentially basically to bring that straight from households to a location to basically process and melt it down into, into the polymer binder, but basically without creating additional waste products, because we don't believe in throwing anything away at StreetsLA. Now, not only do we recycle plastic, but we recycle asphalt and we recycle concrete, and we don't send anything to the dumps. Our Cool Pavement Program that we're doing, to where basically we're putting a white pigmentation onto traditional asphalt streets to basically turn them white, and basically what that does, it reduces the heat island effect, and it can reduce temperatures through the albedo effect by approximately, say, 10 degrees. So,
wow, that's fascinating. Okay, so how far along are we on Cool StreetsLA?
So we're doing several pilots throughout the city. We have some ongoing projects that we've done several years back, and we have projects that we're doing now. And so what we're doing, we look at the environment for us as one infrastructure for us. So when we go out there to, say, maintain our streets and our sidewalks, we can add cool elements products. As far as two city streets, we can add shade and structure, hydration, things like that, to have a combined effect as far as to provide shade and reduce temperatures to reduce the heat island effect. One of the things that we saw that was interesting, one of our assistant directors that's currently working on that project partnered with, I want to say, JPL, where you could look at it from a satellite from above.
Ooh,
and you can actually see,
imaging.
Yeah, they did heat imaging, so we can actually see the cool areas that we laid the cool slurry products down on.
That's fascinating. And all of these projects, are they all in experimental, or are they in rollout?
They're in rollout,
Okay.
And so basically we're still testing, of course, obviously, but basically we're improving and developing this product as we go along, and so we're looking to look at it as not only a cooling effect, but also as a pavement treatment itself.
So the whole idea of cooling LA goes beyond just the the pavement, et cetera. I know that there's a big, huge tree initiative, and I was fascinated to learn that StreetsLA, beyond just the streets, has an enormous array of areas that it focuses on. So I want to get into some of those, but let's just, in a broad scope version, what are some of the arenas that StreetsLA looks at in terms of its responsibilities?
So for us, we look at everything in the right-of-way, from sidewalk to sidewalk, curb to curb in the street, and all the assets that go with that: trees, parkways, curb gutter, asphalt materials, and things like that. So we have an asset management system. It's actually, we're going to track all these assets and look at where the areas of need are for sustainability and equity, and basically concentrate our resources there. We have a street investigation enforcement division that basically makes sure our right-of-ways are clear of obstructions and things of that nature. We have a urban forestry division that basically monitors our trees. We're doing a tree inventory now, and what we're finding is basically we do have a deficit in some of our tree wells of about 20 to 30%. We're still working on that. We just don't build for, say, cars anymore. We build our roads to basically for pedestrians, for bicyclists, for scooters, for skateboarders, to use our, to use our street network and our system. So when we do our planning, we think about mobility, we think about safety, we think about how people cross the street. Basically when we come in, we want to make sure that, can we, do water capture, stormwater capture, things like that. If we plan right and do our maintenance right today, tomorrow maintenance costs will go down, in the future, in 20 years from now, because we did it right. I want to, basically also to look at sustainability and equity as, important driving forces for us to do our planning better, because we have to adapt to, to this climate adaptation, things like that, but at the same time provide equity. But if we do it right, our maintenance costs will go down in the future.
I can't wait to hear updates, and I'm going to drive over to Disney Hall and see if I can tell where the plastic has been incorporated into the road. It's very exciting.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And if people have they want to get information about StreetsLA, I'm sure it's a very simple website for them to sign on to.
StreetsLA.org.
There you go. It's perfect. All right.
Yes.
Well, thanks so much. Best of everything.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
And that's a wrap on this LA Currents.